This is my Hobonichi. I put on this little cover, so if I want to talk about what happened, there's been a lot of just rubbing and bending and things that have, this is actually even just tore like when I brought it out of my bag. So this part, even though it looks really cute, it's been a little bit of a pain to keep up. But otherwise, I'm loving how it looks. The front cover, my future log, has been working really well. I put it in at the beginning, and it is pretty simple to add in this sheet. Makes it more functional. I haven't been that great in terms of keeping up with logging, even though I've been doing a lot of these items. This hasn't been routine. I noticed that I didn't have a little tab, so I'm going to try to work on putting a tab here. And I think I'll make it easier to get to. My monthly has really been working out well. This area right here that I use for washi tape to mark off a really big and busy part of my work schedule. This is just almost 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. types of days where I wake up, I start working, and I don't finish until 10, and then I gotta do all my household stuff. So this has been just really busy. So you'll see that the weeks have just not been filled in as much. This is just something that I do 5 weeks out of the year, so 2 of the weeks are already done. My weekly for this past month, I did really well at the beginning when I had a little bit more time to put in my events ahead of time. And then you can see there are some items so I can refer back to that shows me what I was doing at a particular time. Not always so good about doing that, but when I do, it makes it a little bit easier to reflect back on the week. My keep in view has been working out well, makes me know what's coming up. I try to put some projects that did not work so well in terms of logging time here, so I'm going to think about some other plans there for how to keep projects under better control. Then I got to the weeks where I was pretty much just rounding in the morning, and then all this time is catching up on things that need to be done for particular patients. So because that's something that I can't put in my planner, I have separate sheets for that. Again, more of that. This wasn't actually here a couple of days ago, but I wound up wanting to know what happened, and so I can reflect back on those events, so I started to put that in. I'll probably color code that. And then I did get a chance to start this week to put in scheduled events, and then I can block out some time for things that I need to do. But again, that goes back to looking at my goals and projects for the week, and then I'll add that in tonight. And I'll do another video of that later on. And then I go to the days for this month, which is where I'm doing a majority of the bulleting. And I again have these items where I put these projects in the front. Still a work in progress in terms of figuring out how to keep the projects under control. So I'm going to work on that this week. And I am never going to give up on this. If I'm looking at how well things go for my gratitude and wins, this week was really great. I kind of went over that a little bit. I did not do yet my projects and goals for those areas of my life, so I'm going to work on that. I'll probably go ahead and do something that goes over these daily greatness planners. These I just love, and I do keep them as reference books, and I'll show you how I'm going to look at that in a little bit. Well, I'm going to show you how I do that in separate videos. My monthly log has really worked out pretty well. I thought something that was really interesting was I wasn't able to get through the monthly logs. It was just too busy, so I actually just wrote in there, too busy to do that, working long hours. So I went ahead and just kept on going and just started it again. And at these beginning days where I had a little more flexibility, I do try to at least sleep, if I can, 6 hours a day. So if I'm not even getting that much time in, it's really hard to just do some reflection. There were a couple of things that I liked. I did try to do this work versus home and the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, but that was just a little bit too complicated. I didn't really make it through the rest of the month. This journaling on top I really liked, but you'll see that kind of goes away as the week goes on. Here's when things are starting to get a little bit too hectic. This work ABCs also wasn't really, using the ABCs work and home was a little bit too complicated for this. So I think if I just had the A's and the 1, 2, 3s, that can work out pretty well. Seeing the A's might be a way to make this more useful. Going through, wasn't really getting a lot done here, but adding items and then crossing them out like a usual bullet journal method. Not getting a lot of stuff. This is when things start to get pretty crazy. Again, I had some time to do some gratitude and wins, but then when it started to get too busy, things started to fade away. So you'll see not a lot here, not a lot here, not a lot here, just way too busy. And then again, just didn't get a lot done, but this one I actually put in I did this yesterday, so it was after that 2 weeks of really crazy busyness finished up. So I tried to go back and think about some things so that I didn't lose track of just things I should be grateful for, things that worked out well. Again, didn't have a chance to do my goals, which is what I do here, gratitude and wins. And I started to catch up a little bit more. And then I will show you one of the things that really made a difference was I got a new bag for my Hobonichi, and because I could carry it and look at it a little bit more easily, you'll see this was really helpful. So I will go over if you want to see what's in this bag and how it's working, but this was something that really made a huge difference. I do have some other options that I've been looking at time, and this I think was just a revelation. Hobonichi Day is so big that there are some other things that you can do with your bullets that could be helpful. So I'm going to start this. One of the things I noticed is I was getting a little bit mixed up in terms of at a quick glance. I couldn't tell what was something that just needed to be jotted down and done and something that needed to be noted and remembered. And so the bullet journal method is really these quick little bullets so that you can journal quickly, and then you use, which I didn't even realize because I just got the book on audio and I've already listened to it I think 3 times, and each time I pick up something that I wasn't really paying attention to well. So one of the things that he had said was you put these little dashes for your bullet journaling, and so you're actually journaling something really quickly, and then you put a plus for something that you want to go back to, and for that day I could go and think through that a little bit more, or if I've been using this for some notes, I can bullet something and then put the plus for something I want to explain in more detail, and then put the page or the date that I'm going to actually think through that a little bit more. Or if it's a project, like I'm thinking about something, so I'm thinking through an item in more detail, it might be a project, and I'll put that on my project pages, and then that way I can go to the beginning of the month, which I need a better tab for. So one of these, I can then think through it. I have on the back an area for notes and ideas, and I can use that area to kind of think through whatever that bullet line was. So I think that's actually going to go really well. So again, to-dos, which are the dots down here, and then above are going to be the more bullet journal dashes up here, and that way I'll know above this line. And this line for me, I started the 3 a.m. mark here, so that's the bullets down, and then above that, and that's a natural marker that I use for every single day. I have my little tab here that gets me to the current area. So again, some area for thinking through things. And when I think through something like this, what I'm doing is, as an index, I put things that I want to remember here. So one of the things that I realize is when I'm using this as an index, if I put something down where I have, say, an empty space, you'll see that this starts to get from January 2nd, 24th, 23rd. So I'm not actually worrying too much about this being chronological. I can go through this really quickly and just go. I could also color code this, and right now I'm not, but I think that that's a way that I might be able to think about this more quickly. I have not gone through, but I will, I think, starting at the end of the month with my monthly review. I'll show you how I'm going to go through, look at all the bullets that haven't been completed, and then go through and decide if they should be migrated forward to the next month. And again, I have a task list here, which I initially listed as July, but because these aren't things that necessarily need to be done in July, they're just a running task list. I'm probably going to get rid of the July, and then that way be able to just go through this and start looking at the end of the month, review, see if I need to assign this to a particular day, or if this winds up being a project, I might need to put a project page together for that month. Otherwise, it's just going to keep on running a task list. And then if I don't need to do that, I'll just cross it out. So I think that that's a good quick review of things that are working out for my bullet journal and my Hobonichi Cousin. Again, I am loving it. I am going to do a wrap up for the end of the month of July so you can see how the monthly migration works. Thanks, bye.